Hey there, plant parents and aspiring green thumbs! Ever tried turning your windowsill into a thriving herb garden, only to end up with a soggy graveyard of good intentions? Yeah, me too. One time I thought I was showering my basil with love, but it turns out I was drowning the poor thing in affection. And way too much water. It went from bright and bushy to yellow and droopy faster than you can say pesto. R.I.P. Basil Donna, we hardly knew you. So, what's the deal with us overwaterers? We're like the parents who hover at the playground, convinced our little sprouts can't survive without constant attention. We mean well, but sometimes our enthusiasm backfires and we end up loving our plants to death. Don't worry though, we've all been there. The first step to recovery is admitting you have a problem, right? Alright friends, let's be real for a sec. Growing herbs can be tough. It's not always sunshine and fresh rosemary sprigs. Sometimes it feels like you're waging a constant battle against wilting leaves, pesky pests, and the ever-present threat of root rot. It's enough to make even the most dedicated plant parent question their abilities. But hey, at least we're not alone in our struggles. Remember that time you accidentally scorched your cilantro by leaving it out in the midday sun? Or when you mistook your oregano for a weed and, well, let's just say it involved a pair of gardening shears and a moment of deep regret. We've all been there, my friends. These mishaps are like badges of honor, proof that we're out there getting our hands dirty and learning from our mistakes. Speaking of sunshine, let's talk about everyone's favorite celestial body. Sorry, moon. We all know herbs need sunlight to thrive, but figuring out the right amount can feel like solving a complex mathematical equation. Too little sun, and your plants will be stretching towards the light like teenagers trying to sneak out after curfew. Too much sun, and you'll end up with crispy critters that resemble something out of a Western movie. So how do you find that sweet spot between sun-kissed and sun-scorched? Well, it's all about knowing your herbs. Some, like basil and rosemary, are sun worshippers that need at least 6 hours of direct sunlight a day. Others, like parsley and mint, prefer a more laid-back vibe and are content with a bit of morning sun and some afternoon shade. It's like finding the perfect roommate. You just gotta find one that matches your energy. When life gives you wilted greens, make pesto. Now let's talk about those inevitable moments when, despite your best efforts, your herbs decide to throw a tantrum. You know, the drill leaves drooping, stems wilting, the whole shebang looking sadder than a deflated birthday balloon. Don't despair. Just because your herbs are having a bad hair day, doesn't mean they're destined for the compost bin. First things first, assess the situation. Is it a simple case of thirst? Give your herbs a good drink and see if they perk up. Too much sun? Relocate them to a shadier spot. Pests? Time to break out the neem oil and show those critters who's boss. And hey, if all else fails, there's no shame in incorporating those less-than-perfect herbs into your cooking. Wilted basil makes a mean pesto, and slightly droopy parsley never hurt a salad. The Great Pest Escape of 24. Ah, pests. Those tiny but mighty creatures that seem to appear out of thin air, ready to munch on your hard-earned herbs. From aphids to spider mites, these little guys can wreak havoc on your garden faster than you can say, insecticide. One minute your mint plant is thriving, the next it looks like it's hosting a rave for six-legged party animals. But fear not, my fellow gardeners, for there are ways to combat these miniature menaces. Neem oil, insecticidal soap, and even a strong blast of water from the hose can help keep these critters at bay. And if you're feeling really adventurous, you can even release beneficial insects like ladybugs into your garden. It's like a tiny ecological battle royale with your herbs as the prize. Now harvest time, go from seed to supper. But enough about the challenges, let's talk about the rewards. Because let me tell you, there's nothing quite as satisfying as snipping off a sprig of fresh rosemary from your very own herb garden. It's like Mother Nature herself is giving you a high five and saying, "You did it, kid." Suddenly your cooking goes from basic to gourmet. Plain grilled chicken transforms into a culinary masterpiece with a sprinkle of homegrown thyme. Simple pasta dishes are elevated to new heights with a generous helping of fresh basil pesto. And don't even get me started on the cocktails. Mojitos with fresh mint? Yes please. Rosemary-infused gin and tonics? Sign me up! Green thumbs up. So, there you have it folks. The hilarious, messy, and ultimately rewarding journey of growing your own herbs. It's a journey filled with ups and downs, triumphs and tribulations, but trust me, it's worth every single second. And hey, if you're looking for more plant-astic adventures, gardening tips, and maybe even a few more bad jokes, be sure to check out mysuckus.com. And while you're at it, give this a like, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, happy gardening.